Steven Crowder is back with another Change My Mind, this time on deporting all immigrants. Overall, this was pretty productive, except this first lady, which thinks that because she's a social worker, she knows better than Steven and all of us. And of course, she doesn't want to deport any illegals. So let's see how this goes down.
If at all, with kind of this installment, this series?
Not at all, actually.
Okay.
I didn't know that you would be here today until I saw the signs around campus, and then yeah,
Okay.
I think one of my friends Googled you and found out that you were 38, but that's it.
Oh, okay. Well, at least I got it right, because I also say I own a waterfront ocean Dallas waterfront property, which doesn't even make sense. Yeah, it's not possible. So let me explain to you kind of, just so we're not talking past each other. Let me first tell you kind of what it's not. It's not gotcha, scoring points, dunking, clips, which I know we see a lot online. This was actually created about a decade ago to be sort of the anti-cable news, where people can actually have conversations that you don't see in media, where hopefully they're done in good faith, and it's, of course, used in its entire context. We never edit it out of context. So, and obviously, however you want to have the conversation, that's up to you, but I just want you to know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, it's fine.
And the
I'm
topic-
here for a constructive conversation.
Okay.
I don't think that I can change your mind, and I don't think that you can change my mind, although I'd like to see you try.
That's fair. Well, you're sitting down to change my mind, so, but we'll see. Sometimes people are surprised. So today's conversation, yep, wholesale, I support deporting all illegal aliens in this country, certainly in 2025. I think it's imperative for a multitude of reasons, and if you disagree, you're more than welcome to change my mind, Savannah.
Okay, well, how do you feel about the ways that current deportations are being handled across the country?
That's that's the liberal go-to. It's not so much that, see, a lot of them will come up here and be like, I'm actually not against deporting people, but then they'll be like, it's just I don't like the way it's being done.
Support it.
You support like the racial profiling and possibly the arrest of U.S. citizens?
So I don't know of a single U.S. citizen who's been deported.
No, I didn't say deported. I said being detained because
Sure.
their citizenship is being questioned.
Well, let me ask you this. If someone matches the profile, for example, of a hit and run, and you're detained and questioned, and they find out it's not you, is that a violation of your rights?
No, but the deportations that are happening across the country are going a little more deeper than that. And unfortunately, that seemed to be a very surface level example.
Sure, I understand why you would say that. And if that was the only way we're deporting people, sure, I don't have a problem with it. But it's not. So let me ask you, are you against all of the methods of deporting people right now? Like, how do you think we should do it?
Well, that's actually the question I had for you, considering that you're hosting this event. How do you think that deportations across the country should be handled? Because when I think of deportations, I'm thinking of the mass roundups that have been happening, and then the detainment, I forget what it's called, alligator Alcatraz or something, that was in Florida.
Yeah, alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah, so that's what I think. So I was just wondering how you think that the deportation should be handled.
Yeah, alligator Alcatraz was for some of the worst offenders, violent offenders. Let me ask you this, before we get to that, do you believe that we should deport illegal aliens?
I think it's a very situational occurrence.
Okay.
I find myself disagreeing with the mass deportations that are happening, which is why I wanted to come here today and ask you what your definition of illegal is and who fits that criteria.
Someone who's come to this.
I mean, it's self-explanatory. Like someone who's illegal, someone who's not here legally, someone who's not a legal citizen. That's an illegal immigrant. Okay.
Country illegally. Anyone.
Yeah.
So anyone who doesn't have paperwork.
Yeah, anyone who's in this country illegally, who committed the crime, the misdemeanor of coming to this country illegally, or visa overstays, which make up a percentage that, yeah, I think it's pretty clear. I don't think that that's one of those scenarios where it's gray. You're either a legal citizen or you're not. So I support deporting all illegal aliens at this point. Which ones would you support deporting? I guess would be my question to you. And then how should we do that?
Well, the question really comes back to how we go about deporting necessarily. So
okay.
I think, because I mean, ultimately there has to be a solution. There's a solution for everything, especially in politics and things like that.
Yeah, and this is the solution. This is the solution. There's not going to be a solution that's going to make these liberals happy because it's all about Orange Man bad. That's what really at the root of all of this is just Orange Man bad. Okay, it doesn't matter how Trump decides to go about it. No matter how he goes about it, they're not going to like it.
Sometimes.
I would like to say so. I would like to say that there would ultimately be a solution here.
Yeah.
So.
But do you mean a solution that you're okay with, or do you mean it? Because sometimes the solution is not a pretty one.
Well, I was raised by Southern people.
Okay.
So we think that, what's it called? You know that you've come to a good conclusion when both parties feel like they're being screwed over.
Yeah, compromise is when no one's happy,
Yes.
something like that. That's how we say it in the Northeast, but same thing, yeah.
Yes.
You're much more polite in the South. I was raised by French Canadians, horrible, horrible people, but same sentiment.
So it's interesting that you say that you were raised by French Canadians. And I mean, does that also... It's interesting to think that you're raised by French Canadians,
Yeah.
yet you still support deporting all illegal.
Why is that interesting?
Because you would think that if you're being raised by someone who isn't from this country, maybe you would have a more open mindset.
Oh, I think I have a very open mindset. I was born in Detroit. My dad's American. My mom is French Canadian. She now lives in the States. She's very proud, has gone through the process, loves America, speaks the language, pays taxes, contributes. My woman is Latina.
Your woman?
My woman, my lady,
she
my missus.
belongs to you.
Yeah, she.
See, this is the typical. This is the typical person that we're dealing with. The typical college feminist here. Oh, you're a woman. How dare you say you're a woman? She's not your property. You don't own her. Like, oh, come on, stop with the tone policing. And it's always funny how they always like try to go back. Like they'll be like, "Oh, it's interesting that you were raised by a French Canadian. You think you'd be a little bit more open-minded." And meanwhile, it's like Stephen is explaining that his mother came over and did it the right way. She didn't sneak over illegally. But even if she had, that doesn't change the current principle now. So for instance, if my grandfather was a bank robber, right? And I came out and I was like, hey, being a bank robber is wrong. Would it be a good argument to be like, oh, that's interesting. Your grandfather was a bank robber, yet you're here telling us not to be a bank robber? Huh, I thought you'd be a little bit more open-minded than that. Like, no, it would not be a good argument.
Likes, I don't know if you know these Latino women, they love a little bit of possessiveness, but I say it as a term of endearment. She went through the naturalization process. I fell in love with her when I saw a picture of her with her she was actually going through the process of a picture for the Statue of Liberty.
He saw the big booty. Steven Crowder's into the big booty Latinas. He is how do you say? He has discovered the wonders of the big booty Latinas.
And a MAGA flag that she had. And both of them actually are far more aggressive than I am in deporting illegal aliens because they appreciate the citizenship. They appreciate being a part of this great country. So I don't really think that that's inconsistent. As a matter of fact, I think it's the rule, not the exception. But going back to the question, who would you deport then? Who would you deem acceptable? What's your term as far as, I guess if you disagree with the legal definition of an illegal alien? And then how would we do it?
Unfortunately, you've just asked me like 3 questions.
Okay.
Which one would you like?
Who
to
should be
first?
deported, and how should we do it?
No one.
I guess I've never considered who I would deport if I was king of the world.
Nobody.
Which people would I get rid of first? I guess.
No one's illegal, so I would deport nobody.
Well, I mean, if we go way back in history, because obviously if we don't study history, then we're doomed to repeat it.
Sure.
If we're talking about the colonial era and how, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492 and all of those things, my question would be, who can be illegal on stolen land?
Okay. So you're saying that no one is here legally?
Man, these people, they're programmed. They're all programmed. It's like you could predict all of this. Like it's completely predictable at this point. They're always going to bring up these same things. Well, what about this stolen land? And it's always that framing stolen land. It wasn't conquered or anything. No, it was just stolen. White people just came over and just took it. Completely predictable.
Well, no, I'm not saying that no one's here legally. I'm saying how
do these people not know that they're NPCs? Like, how do they not know?
People be illegal on land that didn't belong to them in the first place?
So who does the land belong to? And I still do want to get to the point here where you said there's a solution to everything. To do that, you do have to live in the real world, obviously, and right now it's 2025, and you have a disagreement with deportation. You said, well, I don't think we can do it. I don't remember your words, wholesales, that we need to determine who. So I think it's a fair question to say, who should be deported and how would you do it? The solution isn't going to be this is all stolen land and give it back. I don't know if you've been to a Native American reservation lately. I don't think anyone would like that. And I don't think that's what they're asking for either. But who would you deport and how would you do it? And then we can see where we differ.
Unfortunately, I don't think that anyone should be deported unless maybe someone's being extradited back to a country of origin.
Okay.
So saying if someone has committed a crime and maybe the UK or something, maybe they, the people who robbed, what's it called, the Louvre, and they stole all the crowns and the tiaras.
Yeah, I know. I still can't believe that happened. You're like, how do you not catch these
It
people?
was like an Ocean's 11.
It really was.
But I would say, unfortunately, I don't think that anyone deserves to be reported unless they're being extradited back to their country of origin because they are committing crimes in their country of origin and they are escaping because they don't want to face imprisonment.
What if they're committing crimes here?
I think that the term that comes to mind is that America is a country, a third world country with a Gucci belt. So if we have enough funding to say maybe deport all of these illegal people, then why don't we have enough money to fix our justice system?
Yeah, and this is one of the things where people just move the goalposts or present a red herring. I do want to stay on topic. I think we need to fix the justice system as well. But going to this, you see there's a solution for everything. Illegal aliens not only commit crimes, and that's why I brought it up at a much higher rate than native-born citizens. They also cost the taxpayer $150 to $450 billion a year. It is a serious problem, and obviously you know about our debt, our deficit. So how do we deal with this problem? Or it sounds to me like you're saying you wouldn't even deport people who've come here illegally, that's a crime, and are committing extra crimes while here. You wouldn't deport those people?
No, I don't think I would actually. I think that the prison system here in America is well equipped to maybe handle the reformation of those citizens. But I think that when you're only
So she doesn't want to deport them, but she wants to lock them up in our prisons. By the way, how fast would that overwhelm our prisons? Like we would have to worry about actual citizens committing crimes here and locking them up. And then on top of that, people who don't belong here who are committing a crime, she wants them locked up in our prison system as well. Like how fast do you think that's going to overwhelm our prison system?
the option is to escape a country when you're seeking.
See, and they also frame it like all these people think that everyone's just coming here to escape a poor country. Like it's a war zone on all these other countries, and they're trying to escape. Which, by the way, I'm not saying they're great countries or anything. Like I'm not saying it's not bad over there or it's not shit. But that's not a reason that just come over here. That would be the same thing. Like, oh my gosh, all my these houses in our neighborhoods, they're terrible households. The families, they just don't have it good over here. Therefore, they should be able to come just live in my house, and I don't have any say in it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, just come in. Like that wouldn't make any sense. So how come these liberals just think of like the United States as just the world's safe space? It's not. It's not our job to take care of everybody. Why can't they, if they're the ones that make our country great, that's what they claim, how come they can't make their own country great?
Political asylum. It's not necessarily the easiest thing in the entire world to obtain citizenship before you go to the country that you want to be in.
Yeah, but why are they entitled to go to any country they want?
Exactly.
Why is anyone entitled to live in it?
Well, all countries, I don't know if you're aware, like they all have borders and they all have laws,
yes,
and becoming a citizen.
I'm aware that
Mexico is far, actually, we have one of the most lenient policies out there. In Mexico, you can't even own waterfront property.
Well, yeah, in Mexico, that you can't own guns either, and that's where the cartel has a lot of control.
That's a good point.
What I'm saying
it's true.
is,
you disarm the citizens, you end up emboldening the worst of society. And a lot of those people, I'm sure you know this, are invigorated and emboldened by the human trafficking that goes on. Even people coming here seeking a better life, they have to go through coyotes, and a lot of them don't make it here. There are more slaves on Earth. If we go that route of open borders, there are more slaves on Earth now than ever in human history. Did you know that?
Well, yes, I did.
Yeah, and a big part of them are sex slaves. And they thrive under open borders policies. Sorry, the sun.
It's the sun reflecting off of that car. Sorry, it just like got me.
Which
I wonder if she did that purposely because he was cooking right there. He was absolutely destroying her right there with all of the facts, all the facts there. And it seems like she needed a little bit of a breather because she knew it would have been over for her.
Damn, Carline's cocky SOB over there. I don't know who's driving it, but
It's okay.
Distraction
so,
tactic.
yeah, it would be incumbent upon you, because it's not as though there's no net loss if it's 150 to 450 billion dollars a year to the American taxpayer. It makes a case to the struggling American right now who's paying taxes out the wazoo, that someone who comes here pays no taxes, shares nothing in common with the culture, language, commits crimes, according to your definition here, should still be allowed to stay and be supported by their tax dollars. Make that case, because that actually is, if we're going to come up with a solution, you need to make that case. Those are the people who are voting.
It's very interesting that you've mentioned multiple times about speaking the language. It's almost as if you demean people for not being fluent in English. I'm curious to see are you fluent in the language that your lady spoke?
So I speak French.
Yes.
She speaks Portuguese, Spanish, and English.
Yes.
But she hates it when people are here in this country and don't speak English. And my mom is French, and she hates it when people here don't speak English, because my mom came here from. Well,
So what? Why does it matter if he knows Spanish or not? Why would that be important? Like, why would he need to know the same language that she knows? That doesn't make any sense. Well, we're here in America. Spanish isn't the national language here. That's not the default language here. It's English. So why would it matter if he knows Spanish or not? It doesn't make any sense. But she takes it as, well, you're demeaning people that don't know English. No, we're demeaning people that don't know our language. There's a lot of people that work here. I've dealt a few times with people who actually work in jobs that don't know English. And I'm like, why are you working here then? How come there's a lot of jobs that require you to be bilingual? However, that guy could have a job and he doesn't even have to know English. Doesn't make any sense. If I were to go live in another country and I knew, like, I'm going to go live over here, I would take the time to learn the language. It's not that hard. I would take the time to go learn the language, not only because I'm in their country and it's to respect their country, but it's also for myself. So that way I could navigate the country and I could know how to talk to people and ask for things, or, know when I'm reading and such. Like, I would do that for myself. It would help me out. But there's a lot of people that come over here that don't want to learn English. There's illegal immigrants that have lived here for years who don't know English still. And it's a stubbornness that shows me that they don't respect our country. They're only living here to kind of leech off the country. Like, why wouldn't you learn the language? It's disrespectful.
It's an irrelevant question. So let's have you answer one question. Just one.
I have said
so you wouldn't deport criminals. So
No,
let me
I
ask
don't
you
think
this.
that anyone should be
Why should the
deported.
American taxpayer keep footing the bill for current criminals who are also illegal aliens? Those are the people who are affected.
Well, it's almost as if that you're insinuating that illegal citizens do not pay taxes at all, because you can receive employment here in the United States. There's little checkbox that you have to put on job applications.
I didn't say that, but go ahead with this trail. I never said that none of them pay taxes.
Well, it's interesting the way that you phrase it, because it's almost insinuating that illegal citizens don't pay taxes.
I would say it's interesting the way you interpret it, because what I said is they cost the American taxpayer 150 to 450 billion. Now I could tell you, provide you the reference if you want to take these with you, so you don't have to take my word for it, that there's about that's including the 17% offset of taxes that are paid from the illegal aliens. So even including that number, it's 150 to 450 billion dollars. Whether they all pay taxes or very few of them pay taxes is irrelevant. It's a net cost. There'd be no way of tracking it.
It's irrelevant. So
150 to 450 billion. Why should Americans pay for it?
I'm finding that your argument is very circular. So realistically, I'm realizing that there is no way to change your mind unless you are willing to break the cycle that is your circular argument.
Right. So
in other words, there's no way to change your mind unless you just stop thinking the way you do and just start thinking the way that I do.
Break that is about the language that I speak privately with my woman in my house.
Well, I mean, you referenced earlier that I was moving the goalpost. I was whatever. I'm a social work major here at the University of Oklahoma.
She did the meme. She did. I'm a social worker here, and blah blah blah. She did the meme where it's like, I'm a blah 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 blah, and therefore I know more than you.
I'm sorry.
I said fantastic. Good. Thank you for the word.
I am just trying to understand where your opinion comes from, because that's what we do.
Sure.
Social science is understanding how you can. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Social science is understanding
You can bat it around like a cat toy. Just don't take it with you.
Yeah, it's very tempting. I should have you sign it on the side. But I apologize. I got derailed there for a second. But social science is based on understanding where your opinion comes from.
Sure.
And it takes a certain amount of intelligence to understand why you believe what you believe.
So why do you think you don't understand it?
Because your argument is very circular.
Okay, explain to me how it's circular.
Because it seems as if you're not willing to. When I said that, it's almost as if that you were insinuating that no one who is an illegal citizen is paying taxes.
Yeah.
You immediately brought up statistics saying, well, there's the 17%.
No, I said because you were mischaracterizing what I said. I never said that. So if you're a social worker, shouldn't you also, let's say someone comes in and needs help. If they say, hey, I have a problem because, I don't know, I'm being recruited for this gang and I'm in a neighborhood, and if I don't, it's going to be dangerous to me. And you go, okay, but what I'm hearing you saying is your entire neighborhood is nothing but a gang. And he goes, no, that's not what I'm saying. I said the net cost to taxpayers is $150 to $450 billion a year. You said, well, you're insinuating or demeaning people for none of them paying. That's not what I said. And then I gave you a follow-up stat to ensure it wasn't circular logic. I'm aware of the 17% offset. So it costs the American taxpayer a lot of money, not to mention sanctuary cities and crimes, which disproportionately affects.
So, I know, I interrupted you there
That's okay,
because
go
you've
ahead.
been interrupting me this whole time. So that's unfortunate. But
my
in
goodness.
the South, we are very polite. What I was going to ask, I forgot actually.
Well, how is that circular? I corrected what was a straw man. You're social.
Okay.
It's a logical fallacy, a straw man. You built up an argument that I didn't make. And when I said, well, that's not the argument I made, you said it was circular logic. I said, no, I'm just clarifying that's not what I said.
It's interesting.
Is that fair?
Well, I don't know, but it's
Is
interesting.
it fair to argue against the point or to present a case against the point that I actually made rather than one you've prepared to make a case against? Because I never said that.
Unfortunately, I think I am done.
These people are insufferable. You know, they think they're going to come in here and girl boss their way and totally slay queen. And then when they don't, because their whole worldview makes no sense because they've been pre-programmed, they're NPCs, they've been sold a bunch of lies and bullshit that they can't comprehend or even fathom, then they quit. She's accusing him of making a circular argument. And part of the reason she does that is because, oh, well, your facts, you keep bringing up facts and statistics. Like, imagine that. Like, imagine saying he's in a circular argument because all of his pesky facts and studies and statistics don't coincide with her worldview.
I think so.
It is very hard to have a productive conversation with you
I can
when
imagine.
you continue to interrupt me and speak over me, and then say that, well, I'm moving the goalpost, and then given no time to maybe have a rebuttal to that.
Take all the time you want.
No, I'm saying I came here with the intention of actually having a productive conversation.
Sure.
The thing is, her definition of productive conversation is pretty much, I come here, I lecture you, and then you just agree with me. That's her idea of a productive conversation, that she was going to come here and be like, well, is anyone really illegal on stolen lands? Well, I don't think anybody should be deported. That's morally wrong. I think that's evil. These are hardworking people escaping persecution. And Steven Crowder was going to be like, oh shit, okay, I never heard that one before. You're right, lady, you changed my mind. And then she was going, oh yeah, I did it, yoo-hoo. That was her idea of how this conversation was going to go down. But since it didn't, and he actually had arguments and rebuttals and statistics and facts, she didn't like that.
I just wanted to know who you were and what you thought, because that's what we do in social work.
Yeah.
We want to understand who you are as a person and what you think about the topic that is most concerning to you.
So then shouldn't you listen when I say what I think of the topic, as opposed to making up something I didn't? Hold on. And then I'll give you the floor.
Actually,
Hold on, and then I'll give you the floor. I know you constantly say it, but we can set a timer and see who's interrupting who. Shouldn't you address the point if you ask me my opinion and I express it and not misrepresent it?
It's just very interesting that whenever I get going on a particular topic, you continue to dominate the conversation. I understand that this is your show and there are cameras who are here for you. I get that. But I wanted to have a productive conversation, and it seems like that you're not actually here for that.
May I speak?
No,
That's projection.
thank you. So
So he goes, may I speak? And she goes, no, you may not. Let me go back a little bit.
but I wanted to have a productive conversation, and it seems like that you're not actually here for that.
May I speak?
No, thank you. So
you've not addressed a single point.
I appreciate you giving
A single
me your
point
time.
that I've asked, not one.
I wanted to understand who you are as a person.
Okay, well, this will help you understand.
No, you, not whatever you believe about this, because that's what we do in social work.
I still don't know what it is that you do. Tell me what it is that you do.
In social work.
Yes.
So social work, by definition, we try to work with the person and understand where they are coming from, how they have formed that opinion, and then how we can either agree, disagree, reach commonality. So that's why I was asking you questions about your wife and why you called her your lady and how that was a little possessive. And that's why I got a little offended, because you were interrupting me before I could finish articulating my thought process. I was trying to understand who you are and where you're coming from where you're coming from with this argument. That way we could have a productive conversation. But when you continue to throw stats and you have a very circular argument, it's very hard to understand who you are as a person and achieve a productive conversation. I can have a conversation with you, but I don't have to agree with you.
Of course.
But it seems very disrespectful when you continue dominating the conversation, and I don't get a chance to do what I came here to do.
Okay.
And she keeps saying he's dominating the conversation, interrupting. She did a lot more interrupting of him than he did of her. But when she says dominating the conversation, she means being right in the conversation, actually having facts and statistics and good arguments. That's what she means by dominating. It's not like he's just there shutting her down. Whenever she tries to talk, he interrupts, doesn't let her speak at all. He's giving her a lot of chance to speak. It's just that she has no good arguments. So that's what she means when she says he's dominating the conversation.
May I present a suggestion? When you say listening to people and finding out where they're coming from, perhaps when you ask questions, listening to the answers and taking an interest in the reasoning, the rationale, the logic behind it, and not misrepresenting what they say, that would help. That would serve you better as a social worker. Because I don't think you've listened to a lot. Well, what I mean is, if you ask me my opinion and then I answer and you go, that's interesting, that sounds possessive, or that sounds...
Well, yes, I think that to the ordinary person, identifying your lady as my lady would sound possessive. But maybe that's a cultural norm that I'm not accustomed to.
Sure, I'm sure you're not. But is that relevant to the point in the answer? Because you interrupted to say that offends me rather than listening. So do you not listen to people who come in and seek your social work the same way?
No, I promise I do.
Just not here.
I came here to have a productive conversation, and usually when I encounter someone in my field, they're also looking to have a productive conversation. But
again, her definition of productive conversation is just let her dictate the conversation and preach her morality and stuff like that. Pretty much let her win. That's her idea of a productive conversation. Treat her like she's the smart one, that she knows what she's talking about. That's her definition of productive conversation.
The way that you throw in the little tidbits that are demeaning, the way you have very circular argument, you throw stats.
I don't think she knows what circular argument is.
Apprehensive to continue speaking with you.
I'm just trying to understand, is the tidbit that was demeaning the phrase "my lady"?
No, it's the little side comments that you sneak in when you're having conversations like this. You're a very sassy individual.
Like what? I said "my lady," you said that was offensive. What else?
Well, when I said that maybe that's a cultural norm that I'm not accustomed to, you said, well, I wouldn't expect you to. And then when we were talking about countries having borders, I said that, yes, I understand that countries have borders. And you said, well, I'd hope you would.
No, that's actually not what I said. We can rewind it. Well, all countries, I don't know if you're aware, like they all have borders and they all have laws, and becoming a citizen. Mexico is far, actually, we have one of the most lenient policies out there.
Well,
I think maybe you interpret it.
Unfortunately.
I think you paraphrase a lot.
Interesting. Why do you think that?
Because you've done it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you not care to elaborate further? It seems like you enjoy hearing yourself talk.
Well, see, this is what you do. You say you enjoy. Would you like me to speak, or will you then accuse me of dominating the conversation? I think you paraphrase a lot, and I think you strawman a lot. And I don't think you've answered a single question. I don't think you presented. I don't think you presented your opinion on the issue at hand. I think you presented a lot of offenses based on some things that I've said and some things that I haven't. I think you paraphrased yourself into convincing yourself, Samantha, that you have a valid position. And I don't think you do.
So I'm saying that I don't think that anyone should be deported, and you say that I haven't answered any questions. You asked me.
That is one. That is one, and I appreciate you answering that.
Would you like to re-ask the other two, and then maybe I can provide further clarity?
Well, because what you
Actually, I think I am done. I tried to leave earlier. I do appreciate talking with you.
Thank you
I
very
just
much,
wish
Savannah.
that we could have had a productive conversation.
Yeah, I do as
All
well.
right. I hope that you have a wonderful
Thank
day.
you. You too, Savannah. Appreciate it.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Listening helps, Savannah.
I did. And I am done.
Listening also.
And thank you, Savannah. Speaking of the picture of
Oh my goodness, that was great, man. These are what's dangerous about this is that these are the people that are in charge. Like, she's a social worker, right? And it's not just the social work field that has this issue. It's like I see a lot in the medical business, like with nurses and stuff, teachers. Like, these are the type of people that are in very important jobs, and they're all brainwashed and indoctrinated NPCs who don't know what they're talking about. And when they're challenged, like this woman here was, she doesn't sit back and reflect and go, oh, maybe I should think about that more. No, instead she gets upset because she was expecting, because she's entitled to go in there and slay queen and girl boss, that she was going to own him. All she had to do was just say no one's illegal on stolen lands, and then that was going to be it. He was going to be like, fuck, I don't have a rebuttal to that. And that was going to be it. You know, he was going to apologize for referring to his girlfriend as his lady. You know, he was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for saying my lady. And she was going to be like, well, that's okay. I forgive you. Just make sure to mind your language, okay? Because that's offensive. I was offended by that. And that was going to be it. She wasn't expecting that he was going to actually know what he was talking about. And when he showed that he knew what he was talking about, she couldn't take it. And she acted like a big spoiled brat, and she left. Again, if this was just some homeless person or a McDonald's worker, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But this woman is a social worker. And Crowder kept making it a point to say, maybe you should listen to people. Because, I mean, that's important if you're going to be a social worker, right? But instead, she's not here to listen to people. She is just here to the slay queen. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy that video? I hope you did. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe, or else you're gay. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I'm just trying to save you from sin. Also, make sure you catch the cool stream live Mondays through Fridays right here on my YouTube channel. And make sure you follow me at any of these links down below for everything Cool Vic.